You think you know animals, right? Lions are kings of the jungle. Sharks are mindless killers. Koalas are just cute and sleepy. Well, what if I told you that a lot of what we assume is just plain wrong? Today, we're going to peel back the curtain on some of the most misunderstood creatures on the planet.
So, let me ask you, how well do you really know them? Because we are about to dive into some facts that are so bizarre, you're going to think I'm making them up. I'm talking about some seriously strange biological quirks and ancient secrets that are hiding in plain sight.
All right, for starters, picture this. We all know it's the moms who feed the babies, right? Well, not always. We're about to meet a species where the dads, the males, can actually lactate.
Or how about this one? An animal that was swimming in our oceans, get this, before the first trees even grew on land. An animal that's older than the rings of Saturn. Yeah, really.
And for our last little sneak peek, imagine an animal whose brain actually shrank over time. It got smaller, smoother, on purpose. How weird is that? Okay, enough teasing. Let's get into it.
First on our list, the bat. Now, everyone knows they're the only mammals that can fly, but honestly, that's like the most boring fact about them. That's just the opening act. The secret life of a bat, it is so much weirder and more fascinating.
I mean, the extremes in the bat world are just incredible. You've got some bats that literally go fishing, diving into the water to snatch fish. Some can live for over 40 years. That's insane for such a tiny mammal. They gather in these massive colonies. We're talking 20 times million in a single cave. They give birth completely upside down, catching their babies with their wings. And get this, the babies can be up to a third of the mother's entire body weight. Just to put that in perspective, that's like a 150-pound person giving birth to a 50-pound baby. Wow.
And that brings us right back to that first crazy fact I teased you with. In one particular species, the dayak fruit bat from Southeast Asia, the males, they have working mammary glands. You heard that right. The fathers can produce milk and feed their young. It's one of the only times we've ever seen this in the entire animal kingdom. Absolutely wild.
And, as if all that wasn't enough, bats aren't just biologically bizarre. They're also the fastest mammals on the planet. Forget the cheetah. The Mexican free-tailed bat has been clocked flying at 100 miles per hour. It literally leaves a cheetah in the dust.
Okay, moving on, let's talk about sharks. And for a second, just get that Jaws music out of your head. We're not talking about movie monsters here. We're talking about ancient survivors, the true masters of the ocean.
To really wrap your head around how old they are, just look at this timeline. Sharks existed before the dinosaurs. They were swimming in the oceans before trees covered the land. They are even older than the rings around Saturn. I mean, think about that. Their basic design has been a massive success for over 400 million years.
And some of them are practically immortal. The Greenland shark. It can live for up to 500 years. That makes it the longest living vertebrate, an animal with a backbone, on the entire planet. They live so long, they don't even hit puberty until they're about 150 years old. Can you imagine?
Okay, but what about that whole mindless killer thing? Well, the actual numbers tell a very different story. In 2024, there were only four fatal shark attacks on humans in the entire world. Meanwhile, you want to know what animal kills over 100 people every single year? Cows. Yep, cows. You are statistically way more likely to be killed by a cow than a shark.
But now, let's flip that around. If sharks are the killers, then what does that make us? Because every year we humans kill over 100 million sharks. Just let that sink in for a second. 4 humans, 100 million sharks. So who's the real monster here?
All right, next let's talk about an animal that gets a seriously bad rap. The vulture. People see these birds circling overhead, see that bald head, and just think, ew, gross. But the truth? Vultures are the unsung heroes of the natural world. They are nature's essential cleanup crew.
And I love this quote from one of our sources because it's just so bold and it's so true. They really have evolved to be one of the most hygienic and important animals on the planet. And let me show you why. So all those gross things about them, they're actually brilliant adaptations. That bald head, it's so they can stay clean while they're, inside a carcass. The fact that they urinate on their own legs, that's not gross, it's a disinfectant. Their uric acid is a powerful antiseptic that kills bacteria. And their stomach acid, it is so strong it's almost pure acid, it literally destroys deadly stuff like rabies, cholera, and even anthrax.
So what happens when these janitors disappear?
Well, here's a number for you to think about. 500,000. What is that? That's the estimated number of human deaths in India that were linked to disease after the vulture population crashed. See, without vultures cleaning up all the dead animals, diseases just ran wild. So the takeaway is pretty simple, right? A healthy vulture population is directly linked to our health.
Okay, let's switch gears and lighten the mood a bit with Australia's favorite tree hugger, the koala. Now, they have a reputation for being, well, super cute, but maybe not the sharpest tool in the shed. But that whole dumb reputation, it's actually the result of a really fascinating evolutionary trade-off.
And this right here explains it perfectly. So most mammal brains are all folded and wrinkly, which takes a ton of energy to run. But koalas live on nothing but eucalyptus leaves, which are super low in nutrients and basically poison. So to save every single bit of energy, their brains actually shrink over time, becoming smooth and simple. They're not dumb, they're just hyper-efficient energy savers.
And they are just full of surprises. They might look all slow and cuddly, but they can actually run up to 20 miles per hour if they feel threatened. And get this, their fingerprints are so close to ours that they could literally confuse a crime scene investigator. And, maybe the weirdest thing of all, to help their babies digest those toxic leaves, the mothers feed them a special kind of their own poop called pap to build up the right bacteria in their gut. Nature is weird.
Okay, for our last animal, let's buzz over to bees. When you think of bees, you think of honey, right? Well, there are over 20,000 different species of bees out there, and believe it or not, more than 95% of them don't make any honey at all. And for the ones that do, well, the way they make it is probably not what you're picturing.
So let's just get right to it. Honey is basically the end result of a very well-organized chain of bee vomit. It starts with a forager bee that collects nectar and holds it in a special honey stomach. When it gets back to the hive, it regurgitates that nectar into another bee's mouth. That bee then passes it to another and another, and with each pass, the water content gets lower and lower. Finally, the last bee in the chain deposits the finished concentrated nectar into the honeycomb. It's really a team effort of regurgitation.
So from fathers that can lactate, to sharks that are older than trees, to koalas that shrank their own brains, it's pretty clear the animals we thought we knew are way stranger and more complex than we ever imagined. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other incredible secrets is the animal kingdom hiding right there in plain sight? Thanks for tuning in.